You have levels too? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. John, I'm going to clip this on your back pocket if that's okay.
Okay.
Good, John?
Yeah, if you could just say something.
Something.
There you go. That worked.
And if you want to just look at me, Sheriff, is that cool with you? Good with everyone? You want to stand right next to me? No. Right here. Your first and last name, and can you spell it for us?
Dudley Greene, D-U-D-L-E-Y-G-R-E-E-N-E.
And your title?
Sheriff in McDowell County.
You good over there? I want to make sure Ari's good.
Oh, just 1 sec. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is it working?
Live use now. That's fine. I'm rolling.
Oh, I'm waiting on Ari.
No, I'm going to have to reboot. Go ahead. You're fine. I'm going to have to reboot.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it on my phone, John. No, it's okay. It's Ari's father. He tells us too. Thanks for being patient.
So what happens if I just pass out?
We catch you. I drop the mics and come back and catch you because you deserve that.
And most importantly, we don't roll on that.
Right. That would, no one would ever know that happened.
And then comes the viral video. Yeah. One reboot.
If you want to just let her know I'll do it on my phone, that's fine. These little backpack things are not. Everyone's good now? All right, Sheriff. How are you feeling after a very long night?
Well, it's been a long night, but certainly glad to bring this fugitive situation to a conclusion. So, yeah, we're tired, but glad to get that brought to an end, hopefully.
What do you want to say to the officers, your deputies who were out there last night?
Oh, I was mighty pleased with the way they handled the situation and responded so well. I have to say they acted very professionally and worked together with other agencies to bring about the conclusion we have now.
Are you happy it ended this way, considering like this guy was on the run, he was armed, he was desperate?
Certainly. I mean, we were glad that there were no injuries or anything like that took place in connection with the apprehension, although very aware that there's additional investigation ongoing where some of this originated over there, and just want to do everything we can to support those agencies, and have been communicating and trying to coordinate with those agencies in Transylvania and Buncombe and Henderson to help them any way we can in further developing their investigation.
Talking about Mr. Bryson, to know that Stroupe was actually driving his truck when he was captured, I mean, I'm sure the shock of that really sets in with people. A lot of people worried, Bryson's family included. So what would you say about the efforts to still find him?
Well, and again, a lot of those efforts are ongoing probably the folks at this point in time, at least in Transylvania and Henderson counties, and maybe Buncombe County can answer that better. And I expect that they'll be having some sort of a release or a statement at some point later in the day about where those efforts stand. And certainly we're ready to try to do anything we can to assist about that on our end as well.
Describe to the public Stroupe history, especially here in McDowell County. It dates back a while, but he does have a history here.
He does, although as I'm personally aware of, it's been a number of years since we've had any enforcement type contact with him. I think back in the late 90s, he faced a number of charges here in McDowell County in connection with some robberies and so forth.
In your law enforcement history, have you ever been a part of a manhunt, a search this wide involving this many counties?
Right off the top of my head, I can't name one right off the top of my head, but certainly there have been a number of situations that started in other counties that have found their way here for one reason or another over the years. But as far as being this widespread, I can't think of one that I'd characterize that.
Can you speak to the return of safety to the community having this felon off the street?
Well, certainly, like I told you, we had been in communication with agencies, the sheriff's offices in Transylvania and Henderson, as well as the SBI and so forth, and knowing that he had some connection here to the county, have had some concern throughout this process that this might be an area he might return to. So from that standpoint, we're certainly feel like that by getting him apprehended and in custody makes it a safer situation not only for our county but for the entire region.
And how are you feeling knowing that the whole time we've been reporting on this, considered armed and dangerous, and all law enforcement officers were okay? There was he was taken into custody without incident after he, ran away. Right.
Well, and thank you for that question. We do feel extremely fortunate that there were no additional injuries to our personnel or even to him at that point, because it could have been a bad situation, but fortunately it ended on this end of things peacefully.
And that gun was actually found near where you all took him into custody. And then also talk about meth being in his system.
There was a firearm found a short distance from where he exited the vehicle and abandoned the vehicle, and more or less in an area between where he left the vehicle and where he was apprehended, that we feel like is likely to be associated with him, although we're still in the process of making some determinations there. After his initial arrest, it's my understanding that there was a small quantity of methamphetamine that were found among his personal effects.
So he could be facing even more charges.
He could be facing some more charges in connection with that as well. Yes.
At the hearing, the question of legal representation sorted out? Like, is he going to have a public defender? Is he going to be a private representation? I don't know if
that will probably be addressed at his first appearance in district court. Initially, he's taken before a magistrate, and the magistrate, that initial appearance before a magistrate determines conditions for release, if any, and sets a date for his that first appearance in district court when those issues will be addressed.
Did that first appearance date, was that set? Because I know he's had a magistrate appearance for McDowell County already. It
probably has, although I don't have that information as I'm standing here.
Right, we can work on that with the bond information
and
whatnot.
Right.
Can you talk with us a little bit about that whole how long it lasted, maybe?
Again, as far as investigative efforts ongoing, I'd really prefer not to comment on the investigation from you know, the other county. I think probably either Henderson or Transylvania, it'd be more appropriate for them to comment on anything related to their ongoing investigation than myself.
Do you think teamwork really came into play? All of these different counties had people involved in this search effort, and then eventually leading to his arrest, which was the goal. So how does it kind of create camaraderie between all these departments?
Oh, it is a team effort. Like I said, we've been in contact with our counterparts from the other counties throughout this week as this has gone on. I know that and talking about in Transylvania and Henderson County and so forth, and last night, you know, units from Buncombe County came down to assist with the apprehension, the citing, and of course there were be on the lookout notices and so forth that had gone out, not only law enforcement but the public as well. There was a sighting actually in Yancey County last night where there were members of the SBI and some federal agencies, the ATF, and as well as the Yancey County Sheriff's Office. They were involved in trying to locate him when the sighting occurred, and notified us that it was coming into McDowell County. And then after the search started down here, our personnel, along with Marion Police Department and Highway Patrol and the U.S. Marshal's Office and actually Emergency Management and probably some others that I'm not, I'm forgetting somebody, I'm sure, but I don't mean to. But needless to say, it was a collaborative effort, and it continues to be a collaborative effort to try to determine as much as we can about the circumstances of a number of issues that Mr. Stroupe appears to have been involved in.
And
So
can you
for
just
viewers, can you talk a little bit more about that manhunt? You said he was coming from Yancey County at around 10:45-ish, and then there was a foot chase. Can you recap that?
Sure. We were notified that the sighting had occurred, and apparently he had fled down Highway 80 in an apparent attempt to evade the officers there. Apparently they had lost sight of the vehicle, and again, that was all started as a result of the sighting of the vehicle matching that description. And then obviously, I guess once the evasive maneuvers and so forth started, it upped the suspicion about who may have been operating the vehicle. Apparently it came down Highway 80 and they lost sight of the vehicle for a period of time, but they had notified us that it was coming into McDowell County, and deputies with the Sheriff's Office here and some officers with Marion Police Department were able to get in a position to possibly intercept the vehicle, and that's actually what happened. Stop sticks were deployed as it came down Highway 80, and we confirmed that it was the vehicle matching the description that they were pursuing, and the stop sticks were effective. A short vehicle chase proceeded on to Highway 70, at which time he stopped and jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot into a nearby tomato field, actually, there. After a short foot search by our personnel and Highway Patrol, Marshal's Office, the SBI, Marion Police Department, Buncombe County Sheriff's Office, and some K-9 personnel, he apparently decided to move again, and once that occurred, he was apprehended fairly quickly after a short foot chase there.
Can you talk about what he looked like when you guys finally did bring him in?
In terms of what he looked like,
He'd been on the run for 5 days.
he'd been on the run for 5 days, and that's what he looked like. That he had apparently been on the run for 5 days. Somewhat, I guess you'd say, disheveled and with dirty clothing and so forth. So.
At this point, is he cooperating with y'all? Like, is he speaking?
We have had some ongoing conversations with him at this point, although in coordination with Henderson and Transylvania and Buncombe and the SBI. But again, I'm really not in a position to comment on those.
We probably already asked this, but being asked to recheck. Is there a bond hearing for him here, or?
Yeah, it has probably already taken place, although we'll double check about that here. So.
Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Sheriff. We appreciate your
Okay.
time.
Thank you very much.
All right, now, where he's been on here, you got to make me look like really smart or something. Okay?
There are easily
Not
20
really
sound
hard.
bites right now.
You did great. Thanks for doing that. Can we get
Yes, sir.